Hey y'all. So I found this article, and it's by Ken Ward Jr., and he does really phenomenal work here in West Virginia. I think he even won a Pulitzer Prize, but I don't know. You know how those things go. But his article is called "What Happened: Hillary Clinton on Country Roads, the Coal Fields, the Quote, and Don Blankenship." Now, I'm not going to read the whole article, but I wanted to read some of the excerpts that were from the book. So, and some of this is, I almost kind of agree with her on. Now, it says, stripped of context, my words sounded heartless. Republican operatives made sure the clip was replayed virtually nonstop on Facebook feeds, local radio and television coverage, and campaign ads across Appalachian, well, it says Appalachian, but for months. The point I had wanted to make was the exact opposite of how it came out. Instead of dividing people the way, no, that's wrong. That's a different quote. Okay. So what she's talking about is the quote where she said, I'm going to put a lot of coal miners out of business. Now, it's true they only played like the first part of that clip, which the second part, she talks about how she, has this plan or whatever. So yeah, they did selectively edit that to where it made it sound it made it sound worse than what it was. But the reality of it is, she wasn't going to do anything for Appalachia. She wasn't, just like Obama. I mean, he didn't kill coal. I mean, I guess, I don't know. He did a lot of the, approved a lot of pipelines and, with the natural gas and everything. I mean, it wasn't, but everybody here is under the impression that he killed it for the environment, and which is absolutely bogus. So, yeah, I mean, they did take her out of context, but it was actually, I guess, more along the lines of what she would have done, because you think her heart would have come out and like, oh, man, we really got to take care of these miners. No, not at all. She would never have done that. She just would have let things, just like Obama, she would have just let us, fend for ourselves as all the jobs dry up. Let's see, what's the next quote? This is what Ken Ward said. As Clinton recounts, she was answering a question about how she would win support from working class whites who normally vote Republican. Here's the full answer. Instead of dividing people the way Donald Trump does, let's reunite around politics that will bring jobs and opportunities to all these underserved poor communities. So, for example, I'm the only candidate who has a policy about how to bring economic opportunity using clean renewable energy as the key into coal country, because we're going to put a lot of coal miners and coal companies out of business, right, Tim? That's Representative Tim Ryan, delegate of Ohio, who was in the audience. And we're going to make it clear that we don't want to forget these people, those people. Those people labored in those mines for generations, losing their health, often losing their lives to turn on our lights and power our factories. Now we've got to move away from coal and all the other fossil fuels, and I don't want to move away from the people who did the best they could to produce energy that we relied on. Now, that is a statement that I agree with. I don't think she believes it for a second. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't mean that for a second, but that is how I feel. It's like, we did all this stuff to make sure that the rest of the nation, got the electric and stuff. I mean, we powered it, and if it wasn't for people like us, sorry, y'all wouldn't have the stuff that you have. I mean, it is what it is. In the book, this is what Ken Ward said. In the book, she explains, if you listen to the full answer, not just one garbled sentence pulled out of it, my meaning comes through reasonably well. Coal employment has gone down in Appalachia for decades, stemming from changes in mining technology, competition from low sulfur Wyoming coal, and cheaper and cleaner natural gas and renewable energy, and a drop in the global demand for coal. I was intensely concerned about the impact on families and communities and that had depended on coal jobs for generations. Oh, I'm sure she was. That's why I proposed a comprehensive $30 billion plan to help revitalize and diversify the region's economy. But most people never heard that. They heard a snippet that gave the impression that I was looking forward to hurting miners and their families. Yeah. I mean, yeah, no. I mean, she would have. It was taken out of context, but yeah. All right. So. No, I mean. Oh, what have I done? It was taken out of context, but. What I do? Hold on. I gotta fix my sound. I got playback from somewhere. Okay. What have I done? Oh, I messed something up. All right, so I'm going to finish this up real quick. Let's see. Oh, God's favorite atheist, Ebon, Cat. Hey, yeah, I got to finish this up real quick. I forgot though. We got to get that show. I don't know if it's up yet. All right, so now here's the other part. She didn't come here. Okay, she did. But at first she sent Bill. She thought Bill would soften us up, and we did not like that. Okay. Way we saw it was she said some pretty crappy things, and then she didn't even have the guts to come here and face us herself and explain things. That right there, if she would have had the guts to come here herself and explain it, it would have been a whole different story for her. But the fact that she chickened out and sent Bill here first, nobody wanted to hear it. Nobody wanted to hear it from her. And the funny thing is that she probably, I don't know if she would have helped out with coal, but I mean, she was definitely the most pro-fossil fuel person on there. I'd say just as much as Donald Trump. I mean, if you're really wanting to bring coal back or those kind of jobs, I mean, she would have been the person to vote for, which is the really funny part. It's like so crazy backwards, you know. She's the exact opposite of what she says. We voted the exact opposite of what we should have if we really wanted those jobs. But then, you know, she goes on and she said, but that wasn't what I had in mind. I wanted to go deep into the southern coal fields to communities facing the biggest challenges where Trump was most popular and my coal miner gaffe was getting the most attention. As one of my advisors put it, they would be like Trump holding a rally in downtown Berkeley, California. That's pretty much what I was going for. She says, standing with them was Don Blankenship, which the name makes me want to puke, the multi-millionaire former CEO of a large coal company who is convicted of conspiring to violate mine safety regulations after the Upper Big Branch mine explosion killed 29 workers in 2010. He was due to report to prison just days later, but he made time to come protest me first. Yeah, he's a scumbag. And I hate that I have to agree with her so much on this, but I agree with her words. But what her actions would have been, totally different, you know? Just look at Don Blankenship, the coal boss who joined the protest against me on his way to prison. In recent years, even as the coal industry has struggled and workers have been laid off, top executives like him have been pocketing huge pay increases with compensation rising 60% between 2004 and 2006. Yeah, or 2016, sorry. Yeah, and they're laying off miners left and right. I mean, there's really no mining jobs, and people that do work in there, the ones that take the risk, don't get the pay like the big shots at the top. See, Blankenship endangered his workers, undermined their union, polluted their rivers and streams, all while making big profits and contributing millions to Republican candidates. He should have been the least popular man in West Virginia even before he was convicted in the wake of the death of the 29 miners. Instead, he was welcomed by the pro-Trump protesters in Williamson. And that is a sad, sad fact, because we will entertain, we will let somebody like that in our presence, somebody that killed our own people because jobs. I mean, we were talking about this the other day on the live stream about child labor, and it's like something we will scoff at now, but you get people desperate enough, it'll happen. If you can get people to stand by Don Blankenship, I don't put child labor out of a possibility. Instead, he was welcomed by the pro-Trump protesters in Williamson. One of them told a reporter that he'd vote for Blankenship for president if he ran. Oh, that's sick. That makes me so sad for my people. It does, because everybody around here knows what he did. Everybody knows that he's a fucking murderer. But we'll still we'll shove that into the back of our lizard brain and not think about it because jobs, that is how desperate people are. They will lick the boots of the man that murdered their neighbor or their family because jobs. Makes me so sick. She said, meanwhile, I pledge to strengthen the laws to protect workers and hold bosses like Blankenship accountable. But here's the problem. It doesn't matter what she said because she was a liar. Everybody here knew she was a liar. She looked down her nose at us. She disrespected us at every turn. She didn't want to come here. She sent Bill. I mean, here the thing is, she didn't give two shits about us, and we all knew it. We all knew it. She has so much disdain for us. And we're not going to vote for somebody that can't even stand to be in our presence and then just lie to our face like that. We didn't trust that she was going to give us jobs. We didn't trust anything about her. So, and yet I don't remember her going ever and saying anything about like worker. Do you remember her campaigning on worker safety or workers' rights? Do you remember anything about that? I remember asking for a measly $15 an hour, and she's saying, well, maybe 12. That's what I remember. I remember her saying there's a public and a private opinion. That's what I remember about her. Or the fact that she lies nonstop about Bernie Bros and sexism and misogyny, blah, 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 blah. Oh, so gross. She said, most of the folks I met in places like Ashland, Kentucky and Williamson, West Virginia were good people in a bad situation, desperate for change. Just the kind of people she loves. I wish more than anything I could have done a better job speaking to their fears and frustrations. Well, see, here's the thing. If she cared, if she took the time to understand what we're going through, she could have. That's what Bernie did. That's what Bernie did. He took the time to listen to us. He took the time to study what was going on and to find solutions. She didn't. He came here and he told us climate change was real and it was man-made, and people cheered him for that. Nobody else has ever been able to do that here. He got cheered for that because finally we had somebody with the guts that was willing to say, look, this is a scary situation y'all are in. It's a bad situation you're in. And you know what? I'm going to be there. I have a plan. Here's my plan. Let me lay it out, explain it to you. And so that way you know what to expect going forward. He didn't sugarcoat it. He didn't lie to us. And that's why we freaking loved Bernie. Ugh. Anyway, their distrust went too deep, and the weight of history was too heavy, but I wish I could have found the words or emotional connection to make them believe how passionately I wanted to help their communities and families. Yet again, it's like, I wish I could have, but since I am a cyborg with no human emotions or feelings, I tried to find the right words to connect to them, but my human interface was broken. It's just... Anyway, sorry, my throat's all messed up. So to wrap this up, I'm going to put the link to this article in the description box because really Ken Ward Jr., he covers coal, he covers the opioid crisis, and he does really fantastic work. So I'll put the link for this in the description, and I'm going to try to head over. They probably already started the live stream, but sorry, gosh, my throat's bad. So anyway, I'll meet you over there. I think Kelly's hosting tonight, so yeah, I better get over there really quick. So thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in just a few minutes.